Do you think it's possible for delegates of General Conference to really do the work of Christian conferencing before General Conference? If so, what do they need to do?
Practice. Practice a lot. And how I come to that practicing will make a difference. If I come to practice Christian conferencing by having my mind already made up, by bringing all my preconceived notions and prejudices, and I have a few, into the conversation, I'm not going to be very willing to hear. I'm going to be happy to tell you what I think, maybe, if that's not too risky. But to hear what you have to say means that I've got to be open. I've got to be willing to listen deeply. I've got to be prepared for the possibility that the Holy Spirit may be interacting between us, changing us both in the conversation. Wesley was encouraging his people in those bands and in those classes and then in those early conferences to really engage with one another. So I think practicing for delegates, practicing in your congregational setting, practicing in your delegation meetings, and when we get to General Conference, practicing as you gather around the tables, and practicing as you gather around meals, and practicing in any kind of venue you can where you're opening yourself to hearing how another group of people, another individual is seeking to find or to live into God's longing for this church and this world is really important. And I think the more we can get ourselves into a frame of mind where we're saying, I'm really here to learn from you and from others, the more we will really be living more fully into what I think Wesley wanted in that Christian conferencing.
It takes a lot of patience.
Yes.
And a real desire to listen and to understand and to learn. But once you get into it, once you begin to listen, once you begin to build community, you begin to discover the richness in the diversity. Also the richness in positions and in understandings of the Christian life, and realize that this is all one church. We just had a conference a few weeks ago, gathering leaders from across the Episcopal area, and we were translating into 6 or 7 different languages, and just to learn to communicate, to understand each other, to respect each other, to listen carefully to each other and to each other's stories. That is really where Christian conferencing begins. And that's a setting where we are not into making a decision, we're just listening to each other.
When I think of Christian conferencing, I think back to Wesley's idea of the class meetings. It was a small group of people who came together, built these relationships over time. They developed this trust with one another so that whenever they would come together at the class meeting, they could have open and honest dialogue.
I believe that what Christian conferencing or holy conferencing is being able to have open and frank discussions about matters that are pertinent to the church and to all of God's creation, with the ability to be respectful, to hear, to deeply listen, and to try to understand the other person's point of view as well. And it's not just mass chaos or mass argument, but being respectful in the conversations that you're having with others, with the ultimate goal that you are trying to create or to discern what it means to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world.
First, open mind. Open mind to each other, understanding, and
embrace.
Embrace.
Yeah.
Yes, everything.
Yes. Embrace differences.
Differences.